Good day. Today we are going to be looking at a special topic on the training of the toddler. It's called character training, or what we also call home training in local parlance. Um, a child with a good behavior, good character training is a pride to the parents, and good enough teaching your child how to behave well, how to have a proper character training that will lead them to become productive members of the society. A lot of that responsibility rests on the parent. I've made a list of a number of things that the parent can teach the child at this toddler stage that they can learn, that is age appropriate for them to learn at this toddler stage. We are going to be starting with just a long list. I'm going to be going through them one after the other. The first one is greeting. Learning how to greet is something parents should teach their children. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening should be second nature to your child. If they cannot greet, it is not the fault of their school. It is the parents' responsibility to teach them how to say this and say them appropriately. And in the beginning, they might greet good morning all day, from good morning in the morning, afternoon, or night. Encourage them as they grow, they will know the difference between the times of the day and the difference between the different kinds of greeting that they should be having. But just make sure that you teach them that it's the right thing to do as they grow as toddlers. Then they should be taught how to use the words please, thank you, and I'm sorry. It is very, very, very essential. Now, those three words, please, thank you, and I'm sorry, follow a person till up to old age. If they are not learned properly at the toddler stage, they can cause a lot of problems, I'm sure, especially in our African society, not knowing when or how to say thank you or please or I'm sorry can cause a lot of problems for an individual, especially in the African society. So the toddler stage of a child's development is a very good time to teach the child to use these things freely and often. Thirdly, they should be taught self-control. Self-control. Children are naturally lacking in it, so they have to be taught not to eat things that are not given to them by their parents. They have to be taught not to involve themselves in discussions that they've not been invited into. They have to be taught how to conduct themselves in the presence of visitors. When you have visitors at home, they have to be taught how to wait, especially when there's food around the corner, how to wait until it's their turn to eat, how to wait until it's their turn to be given something. These are things you teach at home. These are things you teach your children. Teach them also how to understand and accept the word no. Some children, at the root of the misbehavior of some children, is the fact that the parents have failed to teach them how to accept no for an answer. When they ask for things, certain things, sometimes even things you can afford, you tell them no, sometimes not for any other reason other than to help them to understand that no is something that they will hear a lot in life, and they should be able to know how to accept it and how to look elsewhere for something they want, or how to wait until it is time for a yes. These are things that parents need to teach children. Do not succumb to a child when they are crying because you told them no for something. It is very wrong. It's going to build a very unproductive adult when they cannot accept no. So at the toddler stage, these are things, part of the home training that you are going to be giving them, how to accept no for an answer. The next on the list, at home, a parent, part of their home training is they should be able to know what lying is, what stealing is, and why they shouldn't be involved in them. A lot of instruction from this can come from your religious books. Use that, it can give you a lot of help to teach them how not to lie, how not to lie, and how not to steal. So teach them a lot about this using religious books so that they understand that these are things that in order to become a productive individual, they have to avoid doing. The next one on the list is they should be made to understand the concept of consequence. A lot of adults today, we see that a lot in politicians, highly placed individuals who do not have the idea of consequence whatsoever. A lot of people in their adult years do things, and from the way they do them, you know that they believe that there is nothing like consequence. Now, this creates individuals that are bad for the society, that will not be productive individuals in society. So, at an early age, teach your children that when you do something wrong, there are consequences. And let them know that when you also do something right, there are rewards. So, teach them these things on a daily basis. Use whatever skills at your disposal to teach them that for every action, there is a reaction. When you hit someone, it means you should be expecting to be hit as well. When you fight, you should be expecting injuries. When you steal, you should be expecting punishment. When you lie, you should be expecting disgrace, embarrassment. And so you teach them the concept of consequences. I think that should be learned at home before ever they are taught in school. These are things that you, as a parent, the father and the mother, must join hands together to teach the child. Home training. The next on the list is they should be taught the difference between decent and indecent dressing. It's unfortunate some parents encourage their children to dress indecently. They think it's cute when toddlers wear short skirts and clothes that expose sensitive parts of their body. Children learn to be comfortable with things that you tell them they are supposed to be comfortable with. When a child starts wearing skimpy clothes at an early age, they will grow to dress shabbily and indecently, and it will not bring pride to the family. They should be taught how to dress decently at a very tender age by you. Also, a point I would like to raise here is a child is never too young. A toddler, a child, any child is never too young to be taught the difference between right and wrong. I've heard a lot of parents say, "Oh, this child is just too young. What do they know? They don't know right from wrong." And that's wrong. That's wrong. As a health educator and someone who's worked with children for a long time, children have learned a sense of right and wrong even from infancy. Even from infancy, ever before they start learning how to sit or crawl, they can be taught what is wrong and what is right. It sounds strange to it will sound strange to some parents, but it is very wrong for any parent to say that a child is too young to be taught right from wrong. They can be taught even from infancy, even before they start sitting, before they start crawling. So let alone a toddler. So seize every opportunity to tell a child what is right, what is wrong, correct their grammar as often as possible. Never overlook something that your toddler does wrong. It is a time for building good character foundations. Never overlook it. Never say they are doing this because they are a child, because they are young, they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do because you haven't taught them. Always seize every opportunity to tell them, no, that is not how to address people. No, that's not how to dress. No, that is not how to treat your sibling. Every opportunity to correct them, seize it. Because their minds are what the Latin people call a tabula rasa, a clean slate. Nothing has been written on that slate. And the first person to write on that slate is you, the parent. So you must write something that will make them productive individuals. So as they are growing up as toddlers, make sure you tell them what is wrong at every given opportunity. They are listening, they are learning, and their intelligence is improving as you are giving them more things to learn. Next on that being said, I'm going forward with the list. Um, they should be sensitized about how to deal with sexual predators. There are a lot of people out there, a lot of men who sleep with children, a lot of women who sexually abuse children as well. We've heard many stories, it's all over the news. You must create a system of teaching your children how to protect themselves from sexual predators, especially when they are approaching school age, where they'll be meeting people who are not their parents, teachers who are not their parents or their uncles or their aunties. Teach them how to spot improper behavior, inappropriate behavior, inappropriate touching. Teach them, take time to teach them how to spot these things, how to report these things back to you or to report to their teacher or to their head teachers. Teach them these things as often as possible. There's no fixed way of doing it as a parent. Develop what works well with your child and teach them how to protect themselves from sexual predators, especially when you are not around. We are moving forward with the list. Um, as a parent, you should teach them how to deal with refusal, teach them respect for elders, teach them that there's a certain way you treat elders, you talk to elders, there's a certain way the elders should be addressed. There's a greeting that is different. We're in an African society. There's a greeting that is appropriate for their age mate, but is disrespectful for elders. You have to teach them that at the toddler stage, it's a lot to learn, but toddlers are intelligent, and if you keep feeding them this information diligently, they will imbibe all of them. We meet toddlers every day. A lot of toddlers who have responsible parents, have productive parents, have you can see this in their behavior, their character, that they are being really trained at home. So tell them what that they are certain greetings that are appropriate for their age mate, but that is respectful for elders. Teach them how to interact with elders, how to interact with strangers, what not to do with a stranger, what not to accept from strangers, and things like that. And they should have also, finally, a highly spelled out system schedule for eating. It's part of home training that a child should have self-control when it comes to eating. Children should not be given food every time they say they are hungry. It is not a good way to raise a child. It might lead to problems with weight later in life. So there should be feeding times, well-defined feeding times, before and after which children should not be allowed to eat in between meals. There should be types of food that are prohibited in your home. Sugary foods are not very good for children. It's not. There are some parents that have made it a habit that in order to bribe, as it were, their children to go to school, they have to give them sweets and chocolate and sugary foods. That is not good. You are giving the child the impression that there is no schedule, that they can eat whatever they like, and that will not help them in their future life. Children should have a well planned meal schedule, and they should also be introduced at a very age to fasting. It doesn't matter if you are a religious person or you are an atheist, fasting can be done by your children and should be done by your children. Once they get to the toddler age, it's a very good time. The toddler age is a good time to introduce them to fasting, because at that age you can explain to them what fasting means and why it is being done. They should be taught how to endure hunger, at least to some large extent. Don't overdo it. There is a limit to how much a child should be allowed to starve, and they should be taught how to endure hunger, how to postpone gratification. That's part of what fasting teaches someone how to postpone gratification, and these are things that they should learn during this toddler stage. Home training, character building is very much the primary responsibility of the father and the mother. The school is just an assistant in this aspect. Once again, I would like to implore you to use the comment section to ask questions and to request for topics you would like me to treat. Until we meet again, thank you.